Hey guys, Jet here. Welcome back to my channel. And today I just want to give special attention or give a special person a shout out, and that is Gun Fraser. Now, a little bit about myself. I've been looking for teachers all over the world through online courses to look to train, to look for different ways of training, to look at training for certain things. For example, the one-arm handstands, gymnastic strength, movement in general, and whatnot. Stuff that you see me do on my channel and Instagram and whatnot. And they're all great teachers, but this one in particular, Glenn Fraser, who is also a Feldenkrais practitioner, has been my the spine has been the spine of my entire life, basically. He is almost a father figure to me. So a bit of an introduction of how I know Glenn is I knew him from high school. I believe in ninth grade, so maybe around when I was 15 or 16. So I've known him for almost 7 or 8 years, and I started off knowing him as a strength coach, somebody that has very good knowledge in strength. But I didn't listen to him until I was about 17 or 18. And when I did, and I only did because he was my basketball coach. And when I did, I started to get a lot of results physically. But those physical results in my physical capabilities started to transfer into my basketball. For example, it was because of him I was able to touch the basketball rim ever for the first time. And I still remember the first session I went in for him. And this, by the way, he was still a Feldenkrais practitioner in training. I think it was just in the first or second year. And I asked him, like, I want to jump higher, right? And he basically worked on my spine the whole way through. I still remember it was so relaxing. But I had a question in my head. I had doubt. It's like, why are you working on my spine? I need to jump higher. I need to work on my legs, right? So, but nonetheless, I felt really, really good after. I also had a really good nap in that session because it was so relaxing. And a couple hours later, I went to play basketball, Sunday basketball at my high school, the International School in Penang. And for the first time, I grabbed the rim. My vertical jump went from 32 inches to 36 inches. Right? I know it's 36 for sure because my reach is 7 foot at the most with overreaching. So the rim is 10 feet, my reach is 7 feet, so 3 feet times 12 inches, that's 36 inches. I was always about 4 inches away. Could never get it. It doesn't matter how hard I train. I was known to be one of the hardest workers and hardest trainers in my school, right? But that one session changed my life, and from ever since then, I have almost religiously followed him. And as the years have gone by, I have begun to I see him as my mentor. I see myself as taking apprenticeship with him, and I'm very, very blessed to have him. So along the way, I was arrogant after that, and I made my mistakes and whatnot. And each year, coming back to Penang, and each time I go find him, I learn something new. And sometimes it's things that are so obvious right in front of my eyes. Some things I already knew but never pieced together, and he just makes me realize it in 3 words, and which is incredible, and it sticks. He's a very good teacher, also a very good listener, and probably that's why he's a good teacher as well. But yeah, like an example of what happened with my training recently, or with my movement practice in general recently, when I came back to Penang, is the first thing we worked on together was my foot. I really wanted to, for all my life, I have flat feet, like really, really flat. And they hindered my performance in movement in general, in my squats, particularly deadlifts and whatnot. I was always stuck. People will tell me I have a good squat, I have Asian squat and whatnot, but it never feels right, never feels secure. I've had 2 lower back injuries from squatting in my high school, and yeah, it just never felt right. So we worked really hard together on my left foot, and we had a few sessions, I believe, and it was amazing. It led to so many different things. Like working on that left foot led to my stomach my belly relaxing, led to my gut system becoming better, having a better bowel movement. It's like, wow, okay. It led to better shoulder movement. Like I don't feel, after the sessions, I don't feel as sore on my shoulders, and my handstands improve. So, and that's just on the feet. And one thing led to another, and we also worked on releasing my stomach or releasing my belly. A lot of people think core strength or tightening your stomach the whole time is a good idea. I don't think it is, and it's been proven with my experience with Glenn in that. And again, this is actually going against what I used to believe. I used to think you need a strong core, and I thought that the mobile core, quote unquote, is ludicrous. But Glenn's have proven to me otherwise multiple times over, and I've in that experience I learned to vacuum my stomach, and also I learned to brace my core properly, and that improved my squat dramatically. It was feel so much safer. Knee pain is practically non-existent, and I feel a lot more secure. And then that led to ribs, moving my ribs, learning how to move my ribs side to side, feeling the separation between the sternum and the thorax, and it's a whole storm, and that has improved my handstand tremendously. I think yesterday was another day where I could hold almost a perfect straight handstand, but the key thing is that I could feel it. I could, after all these lessons, it wasn't just like it. The lessons aren't magical. They're very progressive, and they are very doable, right? And they give the students, they allow the students to have their own experience in learning, and the learning, because you actually learn it, it sticks, right? And normally in some form of physical education, or from whatever discipline, martial arts, for example, you are told to do something, you are told to do an action specifically the way they want you to do it. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. And a lot of times some people may get it, but may not necessarily understand how they got there. The process in between the result and from the start is missing. This middle is missing. And what the lessons with Glenn allow is for you to it allows you to experience this middle and understand exactly what you're doing. So you understand when you get the results, you understand how you got it, and you can feel the results, and it's duplicable, and it's consistent. When you get the result, you get the result, right? So Glenn has just been a massive impact in my life, and in this context, particularly in my training, my handstands have improved dramatically. Yesterday was the first day where I could feel a glimpse of light in my one-arm handstand. I know in some handstands world they might not see it that way, but to me, I could feel my ribs flexing or side bending, right? Which I couldn't before under the guidance of many hand balancers. And these guys are great teachers. I just could not feel it. I might get it sometimes on video, but I don't feel it, and therefore I cannot duplicate it as well. But now I feel it. I feel my ribs, and the best part about that is not only did my handstands get better from my ribs moving, I feel better in general. My left hip that was bothering me is now, the pain in my knee is now gone. So again, just emphasizing on the fact that these experiences with Glenn has shown me so many different things about training and moving, that the ideas are so broad that also not usually talked about. The effects of the nervous system and how to work with your nervous system and not to overtax it, and how learning is actually faster when it's done slow. And I've come to realize after years and years that that's very, very true, and I should most of the time take my ego away and listen to Glenn, which I a lot of times don't, which I should be doing it though. So that's training. One of the things that people don't realize about my experience with Glenn is how much I've grown emotionally and psychologically being under his wing. All right, and this ties in into the the movement aspect of our experience, or of our collaboration. The as a young middle schooler, high schooler, I was very hard-headed and always very uptight, like, gotta get something done. Come on, guys, come on, let's do it. Always pushing my team, always yelling, always screaming, but never understand, and always very hard on myself. I never really loved myself. So through learning, I started, over the years, I've started to realize, okay, I'm not getting anywhere by pushing myself, by waking up myself at 3 4 a.m. in the morning and doing 3 sessions a day, training 8 12 hours a day. It's getting me somewhere, but it's not getting me where I want to be, and in a way that is very it is comfortable or even possible, because running on 7 to 8 cups of coffee a day, you run yourself down to the ground, right? And I did that with many of my friends around me, my teammates, and it ended up me being a very uptight and impatient person, always very angry, always very sad, and at one point very, very depressed, right? And as you can see, that's not the case. I am still training twice a day. I'm still training 4, sometimes 5 hours a day, but I'm doing it in such a way that I'm listening to myself. If there's a day where I'm not feeling up to it, I'm gonna skip the workout, or I'm gonna skip the session, and I'm just gonna go move and do something small, something light to relax, and just to move around, continue moving. And it brightens up my day, and then next session, I come in and I do better. Through this experience with Glenn, he's taught me to, like, in order to progress, in order to continue to learn and educate yourself, one needs to take it easy and be patient with oneself. Love and kindness to ourselves is almost non-existent in this world that I see, and I've come to realize that I do it myself. I am still guilty of it sometimes, that I do not practice those things, but nonetheless, over the years, just learning and being under his wing, I've learned to be so much more patient, kind, and loving to myself, and that has allowed me to learn so much quicker and improve so much faster. Or not necessarily faster in the way that people see in results. I'm still working hard on the one-arm handstand, the handstand push-up, and the one-arm chin-ups, but I'm learning faster in a sense. I'm improving faster in the sense that the movements are getting clearer. I'm not just getting it here and there. It's the repetitions and sets that I'm doing are becoming more duplicable without having to tax myself so hard that I'm depressed. I can still go outside and function. I can sleep at night. I can go and hang out with friends, hang out with my girlfriend, hang out with my parents, and it doesn't affect my daily life like it used to be. So that's a big, in my eyes, that's a big win. And I thank you so much, Glenn, for allowing me and being so patient with me for the past 7 to 8 years, and definitely the past 3 to 4 years where I started to take this movement journey very seriously. You have helped so much in every way, and again, like I said before, you're like a father figure and a massive role model in my life, and I really, really appreciate working with you, and I hope for more good years to come. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening. This shout out is to Glenn Fraser, Feldenkrais practitioner. I will post his details down below. And if you are in Penang, okay, let me tell you, you do not want to miss out collaborating and working with this guy, okay? He is very knowledgeable, has a very broad knowledge about, in my eyes, almost anything. I've learned so much from him outside of just training in general. So, and in my opinion, in my experience, I don't see anybody in Penang for sure, but maybe even in Malaysia that does what he does. He is in his own league, in his work. I've also been to other Feldenkrais lessons with him, and in my opinion, he is just so good at what he does because he has so much passion and so much heart to it. And he also inspires me in the way that he works really, really hard for behind the scenes as well, without telling anybody, to be such a great teacher. So I really encourage anybody who wants to improve their training, who wants to improve just general movement, or alleviate some pain, learn more about the body in general, or maybe even psychology or the nervous system, hit up Glenn. He is your guy. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day and stay safe with this COVID-19. I will make more videos about that. See you.